Let's go! LSU Purdue film study. We're going to do a Jayden Daniels study and a Garrett Nussmeier study at a later date, and we're going to let you come to your own conclusions. It's hard to argue that Jayden was undoubtedly a better player in this game and against Georgia as well than he had been in other games as far as throwing the football is concerned. So we see right off the jump here a swing pass to the right, and where this play actually gets blown up is Malik Neighbors, who was phenomenal in this game. He misses a block, and that forces this play to get blown up. This has just got to get better. Now, here's the truth about these kind of plays. Malik Neighbors is such a great playmaker. You begin to question, do we really care if he's not the absolute best blocker in the world? It is a valid question, right? His value as a playmaker is far greater than as a blocker. But LSU's receivers over the years, whether it be starters or backups, aren't necessarily the absolute best blockers. So we see right here, everybody is executing their assignment to perfection. Jayden throws a perfect ball in stride to our athlete here. BTJ gets an absolutely phenomenal block, but we also see Mason Taylor take a somewhat bad angle on this play. But if this player decides to play the alley, if we would have had a cleaner block right here, Noah would have been able to cut right through here for a big gain. Either way, BTJ seals his guy to the inside, and Mason misses his block right here. Malik missing that block was huge. It's tough, right? Wide receiver blocking is a very difficult thing. So we get to the second down play, and there's a lot of different offensive philosophies you could talk about here on this RPO. Our throw game off the RPO this year just wasn't that great. We were able to get it going versus UAB, but it turned into an interception versus Georgia. That was very costly. And we see right here, Jayden pump fakes this. If you're going to pull it, this ball has to be thrown. But because this player played the passing angle, Jayden decided to keep it and still gain a very positive amount of yardage. So this is a tough decision. As you can see, this player right here, we get a 5-man box against our 5 guys. This isn't a Georgia front. I'd rather us just hand the football off versus this look. But Jayden does see this linebacker commit, which is why he decides to pull it on this RPO and hit Mason right here. Throw it, right? But, of course, he is a very turnover-adverse quarterback, and he decides to pump and throw it, and we're still able to get a good gain right here. So, yes, it's fine. He's able to make that guy miss and pick up the same amount of yardage as if he would have thrown it to Mason. But we don't also want our QB1 to take hits such as that. All right, so we get a fresh set of downs, and this is a play that's worked quite a bit for us. And honestly, this is normally Malik on this throw. So we're running an out right here. We're running Malik on something, and Brian Thomas Jr.'s job is to sit in this zone for a nice quick throw in this window, okay? So Malik goes right here. This is, Mason going on the out. If this guy, he could have thrown this, but the throw is intended to go to Brian Thomas Jr. And was it delivered late? Was it delivered inaccurately? Yes and no. I understand him wanting to make sure that the linebacker's not going to pick it off, so he throws it low and away. But it's just not a good throw. It's not very catchable. So, yeah, the intermediate game is something Jayden's got to work on. Those spacing concepts, Hank and all of that. He's got to just become more efficient at those throws because against good teams, you got to methodically work the football down the field. But obviously, an even bigger thing Jayden's got to get better at is the explosive passing game. So we move along here to this 1st and 10 play. And one thing that I thought was very interesting is that they didn't really get all that exotic. This time they do. They bring a simulated pressure. He backs out. We pick it up nicely. A very nice pocket for Jayden to throw a very easy throw to the outside, and it's high. Okay, should Lacey still make this catch? Yes. He should still make this catch, right? But once again, you take a look at this footwork right here. You don't really want your heels to click too much. It's very jumpy. Does throw a tight spiral, which is a good thing. Sometimes Jayden, with the clean pocket, the ball can wobble out of his hands. But this is high and away. You still got to catch this ball. We don't have the all 22 here. Was there other open things right here? I mean, it looks like Mason's open on something there. So, you had time to go through progressions, and there could have been something else open. But you obviously could play cleaner offense. The wide receiver can make the difficult catch right there, and Jayden can throw a more catchable pass. So it gets into a very interesting discussion about drop rate, right? Our receiver's drop rate was somewhat high this year, but while that is technically a drop, it's also not the absolute best throw. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So here's what we're going to do. I'm looking at you. Okay? I still have some hats for sale, but they're almost sold out, so you better hit me up on Power Hour LSU, the Twitter DMs, and all that good stuff. And go to powerhourlsu.com for more merch if you want to help grow this channel, okay? Here's another negatively graded play, and I do think LSU is going to have some philosophical discussions about this offensive line performance versus Purdue. They were really good. Don't get it twisted. This offensive line performance was great, but you do have to factor in level of competition, and you do have to factor in one thing that continued to show up on tape. One thing LSU struggled with all year was blocking something called a twist stunt. Okay, so what essentially a twist stunt is, and I'll draw it for you right here, is boom, this end goes through here, and this end loops around. Now, normally, you want this looper to go a little bit wider around here to make sure you can keep contained, especially against a running quarterback like Jayden, especially to his right-hand side. But this tackle right here decides to take a gamble. Obviously, these players watch a ton of tape, and they know throughout the year, Emory Jones has struggled to block the twist stunt coming through his inside shoulder, so through the B gap, if you will. Okay, so once again, we got the A gap, we got the B gap, and we got the C gap, right? So this player just crashes through, and the way it's blocked, especially if the center is sliding to the left, which he is Bradford has to leave this guy for Emory Jones, and he's got to pick up the innermost twister. So Bradford's got to let this guy go, pass it off to Emory Jones, and this player get picked up by Bradford. This is really hard to do. We couldn't block it versus Tennessee and Mississippi State. Maybe one way to fix this is for John Emory to wait a little bit longer to pick up scraps right here. And as you can see, there's just nothing open right here. Now, in a perfect world, if Jayden had time, he could step up and hit this dig, but you'd have to anticipate that and throw an absolute dime. He also could have hit this right here if he would have had time, but he just doesn't have time right here. Okay, so maybe you could still step up in the pocket, reset your feet, make this throw right here, throw a dime right here. That would have had to have been a bullet with the anticipation. But a quarterback like Jayden, he felt that interior pressure. He's going to decide to tuck and run it. He runs into his own guy, which happened a little bit more than we would like to have happened, and this DT does a good job, picking this up. So, could a more advanced quarterback still have made a throw in that situation? Yes, but we all year just could not block twist, right? We did fine with it some of the times, and really the Tennessee game was a really bad game when it comes to twist stunts. Alrighty, so we go to drive number 2. We've already broken this play down. We're going to give you the all-22 look right here. Essentially, we are running what's called Dagger, right? We're running a go route with a deep dig attached to it, okay? So, once again, I don't use route concept names all the time. I'm not necessarily great at them, but it's a pretty simple idea. And this was the idea of running a go with a dig combination worked really well versus Georgia, and it worked well here. So the job of BTJ right here is to draw the coverage of this player and this player. They're in deep quarters coverage, okay? So a good quarters beater is a deep dig over the middle. Good pocket right here for Jayden to work with. Good protection right up the middle. And Jayden, a good throw right here. Obviously a tight spiral, a little bit behind Mason. Could Mason have kept his feet and ran for a little bit here? maybe, but we get a nice explosive pass play on first down. You'll see it through this angle right here. Kind of a, and this is something else I really like about this, kind of a play action look, even though it wasn't really play action. That always causes linebackers to bite. You can see him backpedaling now, trying to get depth. And look at this throw by JAYDEN. Yeah, it could have been better. He could have led Mason Taylor a little bit more so he can run with it, but still, nice game. All right, we get to second down here, and this time they actually do have 7 people in the box. Rarely do you play 7-man boxes. Normally you're going to see 6. So the first thing we see here is a very low snap, which kind of disrupts the timing of this play, and we're basically just running a zone play here to the left, okay? And let's see, was there a cutback angle here? Maybe, but Noah just gets what he can get, and they just dominated the line of scrimmage on first, right? So not the best rep from our guys up front. And second down, we decide to basically do the same thing, a little bit different of a variation of this. They're thinking we are going to run, and yeah, we just get dominated right up here up the middle. Charles Turner has this one-on-one block. Obviously, the most important block pretty much on every play are your A-gap players, guys mostly to the inside, so blocking this DT. Turner just gets whipped right here. One player could just blow it all up, right? We're getting a great double. Look at this. Emory Jones driving this guy back with Bradford, who's now going to the league. Mason Taylor does a good job of leaving this 0 player who is, respecting JAYDEN's running ability. And there was just nowhere for Noah to go. If we get a decent block, Noah could have easily cut through right here, this space. This is really well blocked across the way, except for this block right here at center. Alrighty, so it's 3rd and 7, and this was a negatively graded play for me for JAYDEN. Yeah, this just isn't good quarterbacking, even though the result turned out to be okay. This has got to be a ball completed to Mason Taylor, okay? So first thing we see here is this slot corner has inside leverage on Mason Taylor. So he's on the inside shoulder. So if we get an out-breaking route, it should be open, right, just by the pre-snap alignment here. It looks like this guy is not blitzing. Looks like it's a very simple thing, and you have time to deliver this football, okay? So JAYDEN is working here. He's got a great pocket. Not the best right here from Emory Jones, versus Jalen Carter. He did a really good job resetting early in the game on a play. You get spin move on right here, and it does cause some pressure. You see Emory right here lean just a little bit. You see, watch him lean, and he loses. You never want to just lean like that where you get yourself off balance, because if they counter move, you're just going to whiff, and you see him kind of whiff. Did a good job resetting right here, and I really don't know what JAYDEN is looking at here, right? As you can see, he's looking to his right, and then he's working backside, but it's clear that this is double covered, so I don't know why you would work backside here at all, especially if this receiver is not Malik Neighbors, it is Kyron Lacey. So I get working right and working backside, but if he would have actually just stuck right here with his initial eyes, he would have had Mason Taylor, boom, right there, okay? But because this end gets some pressure on this 3-man rush, JAYDEN decides to bail. So once again, it was a negatively graded play for me for JAYDEN. Obviously with his legs, if he can break, contain, and pick up first downs, we'll take it. But, he's able to get almost a first down. And look at this. Once again, Brian Thomas Jr., look at this block right here to seal this guy to the inside and help JAYDEN get the corner. That helps make it a manageable 4th down. Honestly, one of the plays of the year right here by Malik Neighbors, right? It is 4th and 2. The score is still 0-0. We don't know if Purdue is going to fold after this drive. We know that they were eventually going to get blown out because they had a bad roster and a bad coaching situation. But goodness gracious, I mean, this is just such great stuff by Malik. So we bring Mason Taylor in to help block what looks to be some type of an exotic pressure, right? They're wanting to be aggressive here on this 4th and 2. So with that, this allowed JAYDEN Daniels to see that he does have a one-on-one opportunity right here for Malik Neighbors. This linebacker is so far to the inside, it would take him too long to be involved with this route at all. So if you're a quarterback and you see that this corner has so much inside leverage, maybe you don't want to actually throw this football and you actually want to work right here, because if they're going to give us press man, we should be able, with our wide receivers, to hit a go over the top. So what a lot of NFL coaches will tell you is that this is where the ball should go, even though on 4th and 2 it could be a low percentage throw. Okay, and could we have hit Kyron on the go right here? I don't know, right? If this is BTJ, though, Shelton Sampson or someone like that, let's hit this. Let's be aggressive. Still, though, JAYDEN has done this a lot this year. He's still going to force the ball to Malik Neighbors because Malik is a beast, okay? This corner has inside leverage. So a slant right here should not work, but Malik Neighbors is a very special football player. He plants his foot in the ground. He gets big, and you see this little cut right here, okay? He gets inside this DB. Pause. But look at him getting big and just boxing out this guy. Look at this throw by JAYDEN, low and away from this DB, and we're still able to make this catch. And we're actually able to break the tackle after the catch to gain extra yards. That is just so freakish, right? And he was actually able to break 2 more tackles. If this defensive lineman didn't hustle, Malik might have still been running, or linebacker or whatever. And you'll see a better angle here. So what inside leverage means is both of these corners actually had inside leverage. They're preventing in-breaking routes. So if they are to the inside shoulder, you see how far inside? Look at where his foot is on the hash. Look at where Malik is. It's hard to fit a slant in there. You've got to be a special athlete. You got to get big, and that is just excellent. I mean, that's a good throw as well. And I mean, I can't give you enough superlatives. That's Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson level stuff right there. It really is. We pick it up here, handoff zone read, and JAYDEN decides to pull. Let's see. Not a great pull read here, right? It's clear that this end is not crashing down. He's staying. This should have been a handoff, and this would have been a big gain right up the middle. We're just perfect blocking around the way here. Not a good pull read right here by JAYDEN. This guy is just going to chase him down. But because JAYDEN is a freak, he's able to, work out of that, broken tackle. But that's got to be a give right there, okay? And he takes a big, big, big hit. There was a flag on the play, and it sets up this 1st and 15. We're going to go ahead and give you the end zone angle. Just great pre-snap recognition right here by JAYDEN. It helps that he likes locking in on Malik. They blitz a guy right up the middle. It's a simulated pressure. So what a simulated pressure means, Chris Fowler used that a lot in broadcast recently. It means you're bringing 4 guys, but it's not the 4 guys at the line of scrimmage. So this guy drops out. This guy replaces him, and it is still a 4-man rush with blitzers, okay? Easy read by JAYDEN, though. I mean, this is just too easy. Our best player in the slot, you're going to blitz the mic. All we got to do is throw where the mic is coming from, and that is just simple stuff. Good quarterbacking by JAYDEN, a really good throw to Malik, and Malik does Malik things after the catch, and we pick up a nice first down. So this is just going to be a big part of our offense, right? Get the linebackers flowing one way with the jet sweep motion, pulling 2 guys around here. Good pull, good handoff read right here by JAYDEN. And does John Emery miss a cutback angle right here? Maybe, but this hole does open itself up, and he just bangs it up in there for a nice gain, and we are just cooking right now. Let's go. This time, JAYDEN makes the correct read. He sees that this guy flushes all the way down, okay? See how much tighter this end is to the line of scrimmage? This is an excellent decision right here to pull. It's a little bit dirtier right up the middle. So JAYDEN knows he can pull it and beat this slower defender to the outside. And all we need is just good blocks right here on the outside. And once again, our guy BTJ, I mean, just look at that. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, can you do this any better? You can't. You just can't. You just can't. I mean, there's few offensive linemen that could drill guys back like that. This is Excellent, excellent, excellent stuff. I want to show you something here. It's really hard being one of these sideline camera guys because at any time, look at that dodge job. You can get run over. That's the sideline reporter right there. And you'll see a lot of the local media here. I think you could see Michael Cobble somewhere in there. He's somewhere in here. Shooting a game from a sideline is so much fun, yet also so exhausting, right? You really get to see how big and fast these guys are, and at any time you can get run over. All right, so it's it's second and goal now, and of course we're just trying to bang this thing up in there. Good blocking all around right here. We're able to get some good yardage, and now it sets up third and short. Hurry to the line, run the same play again. All we need is just a little bit of surge, and we get it. The only thing right here is, and John did this versus Auburn as well. And I heard Kirby Smarts say this in a pregame speech that was expletive-filled. One thing that I think LSU could do a better job of on these goal line plays is we don't want our guys leaving their feet unless it is the last option. Let's say like a lot of guys submarine right in here. If you have a clear path to leap in, do it. But you've got to be sure, and you'll see right here, John actually leaves his feet. And, when you leave your feet, you're losing all your power, all your leverage. There could be someone that darts in and knocks the ball loose. Just keep your feet and just power your way in there. This is actually a really good job by John resetting himself and still finding a way to get in. But, just in general, like whether or not you're diving for a catch, only dive for it, only jump for it if you absolutely need to, right? And that's bit us a few times this year. I remember, MALIK leaving his feet versus Ole Miss, and they were able to push him out of the back of the end zone, and we had to settle for a field goal. You want to, keep your feet as much as you possibly can. I know a lot of you are dying to see Garrett Nussmeier, but I do think it's better to do one film study with JAYDEN and one film study with Nuss, and that's exactly what we are going to do here, okay? We set up this 1st and 10, and it's pretty clear that they're not doing just anything exotic. We play action fake, and that's what we want our play action fake to do, to get these linebackers to bite up, and we should have something open, right? So JAYDEN is sitting back and makes a really good decision right here to toss his football to John Emery on the check down, and there you go. So what was the play here? It's a very interesting concept where you're flooding one side of the field. So it's a play action fake. He's running a go. He is also running a little comeback stop route, if you will. And Mason is running a deep crosser. Okay? And could this ball have been delivered to MALIK right here? Maybe, but don't risk it. Hit your check down. Pick up a nice gain right there on first. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. If you can, join the Patreon or drop a very nice donation because, well, sometimes these film studies do get demonetized, okay? One big complaint I have with how football is consumed by viewers is rarely do we get a wide enough angle. I think Syracuse is the worst at it because I've been watching a lot of Deuce Chestnut, the new corner coming in, and the angle is so zoomed in. I would prefer the angle to be a little bit tighter than this, even though I'm an all-22 kind of guy. But, the modern quarterback position, the first thing you look at is the safeties, and I do think it would make football a little bit more understandable for the public if they could see the safeties in a camera shot. Anyway, we're running a quick screen right here. Once again, our wide receiver blocking has been really good this game. Good job by Kyron Lacey getting the most critical block on this play. And Georgia is the absolute best at getting their offensive linemen quickly down the field on these blocks. Maybe. But still, the way this play should be run is he should already be running this way. And this block could have been there a little bit sooner in his defense. But because he waited, we missed some yardage right in there. We're still able to cut up in there. But you see, because he waited, it allowed the defensive tackle to chase this play down from behind. 3rd and 3, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? this camera angle is just so far zoomed in to where you wouldn't have known that there were two wide receivers lined up to the far right. So you see they're bringing the house. Really good call right here by Denbrock to roll JAYDEN out. Sometimes that could be deadly, especially if they're, bringing pressure off the edge. Because if this guy is, coming on a blitz, pause, JAYDEN is running right into it. They bail, and look, we got all this space to throw the football to MALIK Neighbors, okay? I couldn't see the receiver to the far right. I'm guessing he ran a vertical to pull that corner out. We pick up a nice gain right there to actually complete this third good route by MALIK. And it was BTJ that drew that corner, so really good stuff. I really like this call right here by Mike, right? Better offenses do a good job of giving you the same look, but doing something different out of it. So what we've been doing is just a lot of just regular inside zone, mixture of some duo, whatever you want to call, like just simple run plays to the inside. So we're showing that to them again, but instead of just handing the football off, we are pitching it to the outside and leaving this defensive end unblocked, okay? So now John's got all this room to operate, and what do you know? BTJ's making another great block here on the outside, and we're banging it up for a nice, these are just easy yards on first. Something else that these kind of plays do is, and Georgia's offense is the absolute best I've seen it doing this. You're getting the defense moving side to side, right? You're giving them some downhill looks, and you're giving them some horizontal looks as well. And that just keeps those linebackers guessing, right? You show them the same look, the same blocking formation and path, if you will, and instead of running that play, you run a variation where you pitch it to the outside instead. So now we're doing the same thing but to the right, but instead of actually handing this football off or pitching it to the right side, we're just running, just a simple pass play here, and we score a tutty. A very nice and easy one. We're going to give you the behind angle as well. This was good. By JAYDEN. He's trying to see if something does open itself up vertically. He doesn't want to risk it. We got MALIK getting ran into by the referee. The end zone angle is going to give you a better shot of this, but just look at this yards after the catch right here by Mason Taylor. He makes this guy behind him miss, cuts into the inside. I don't think I've seen a more lousy tackling attempt than this. I mean, what is that? But we'll take it. He had another opportunity, and what? Okay. At least he got free Cheez-Its. This is what it's all about right here after the tutty. I'm telling you, everything that I hear is these two really like each other. Obviously, they want the job. But it's true. They like each other a lot. It's just that simple. Okay? So, let's actually break down this. I struggled, honestly, grading this play one way or the other. It's a great touchdown, obviously, but, it should have been tackled. I don't know what Purdue's defense was doing. It seems like they didn't really want to be there. I get it. That's what happens when your coach bails on you. But good stuff. I am very happy with that. One of my favorite graded special teamers was actually Quincy Wiggins. I might do a breakdown on that soon. But let's take a look at the end zone angle here. Okay, so Dan Orlovsky is just a really good analyst. I'd love to get him on PHL. We were talking with them on Twitter actually during the game. So we're running a go right here. And I have a few thoughts on this play. The first thing here is they're not really doing anything exotic here. It's pretty clear what kind of defense they're running. It's just simple cover 1, 3, whatever. It's a middle of the field, close, single high safety look, okay? So, could this ball have been completed to Mason Taylor now? Yes, right? I don't think JAYDEN thought that this corner was going to ride with Kyron Lacey. But yes, this could have been delivered to Mason now. Okay, so rarely are you going to be able to not make this throw and then go through all these other reads. But the truth here is both of these actually opened up. Now, this gets into a philosophical debate right here, okay? Obviously, if you start looking left, the safety is going to run to the left, okay? So now he is looking backside to MALIK. Corner does a good job getting physical with them, and then there's a collision. So now he works here, and I'm actually glad he didn't throw this. The safety could have been able to get over there. But you see BTJ does get open right here, and this ball could have been delivered right here, okay? This ball could have been thrown into this space and BTJ run right into it, okay? But JAYDEN is a risk-averse thrower. He's not a big-time thrower of the football. So, yes, this ball could have been placed right there, okay? It didn't. That's okay. MALIK also opens itself up. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, Emory Jones gets beat on the spin move again. No, he doesn't, okay? He stalemates him and honestly forces his guy back outside. This is really good pass protection. You can't really ask for anything better. One thing we don't want to see our quarterbacks do too much of is drift, right? You don't want to just keep drifting this way, right? The pocket is good, okay? You see how he's drifting and the footwork gets very clicky, and now, this isn't open. This does open itself up. This guy is now free, so this is the right throw to make. But there were other options. Good throw by JAYDEN, though. So, yeah, it gets tricky right there. Was this a good play? Yes, it was. Okay? But, it gets complicated, right? About cheerleading, okay? You have all these cheerleaders watching their team down by 21. You got to put on these fake smiles. I would love a cheerleading unit to say, "What are you doing?" And this one girl's like, "No, I can't be happy about this. We're getting our beat 21-0. Huh? Look at all these fake smiles. She's mad. She's like, "Why am I here in this heat? We're not even showing up." I mean, come on. Give me some authenticity. She's trying to shoot her shot. That's funny. Alrighty, so, just for a throwback reference here, this is what it was like going up against the Orgeron defenses of the last 2 years, right? You notice how static, it's just a typical four-man look, and the quarterback just knows pre-snap that they're probably just going to rush 4 and drop back 7, and it's clear they're running some form of a too-high, middle-of-the-field look. So good job by JAYDEN knowing that this comeback route over the middle for Mason Taylor is what is probably going to be open. And throughout the year, one big thing that we did a lot of was run mesh with, one player running the hook, this receiver running here, this receiver running here. But this time, we're not actually running mesh. We're running one shallow crosser, okay? We're running one running back on a comeback route to hold this backer, and we're hitting Mason Taylor over the middle, and this ball could have been delivered a little bit sooner. Yes, but JAYDEN likes to see the wide receiver get completely open. Ball could have been thrown to BTJ if he wanted it as well, but this is where the ball should have been thrown. Throws it a little high, but at least Mason can run after the catch here. That would need Mason to make a guy miss. He does it, but he does fall forward, and we get some good yardage. I'm not showing it, but Purdue already has 3 defensive players hurt in this game. So, when you see that as an opposing player, that obviously sucks. You want everyone to be okay. But you do feel that you're starting to impose your will. So let's get downhill and run the football, okay? Good cutback right here by Noah Cain. This is really elite running back play. All year long, when we pull 2 guys, we weren't the best pulling running team, but Noah sees that this is muddy. There's nothing here, so just hit this cutback angle and watch him just bang it up in here and pick up some nice yards on first. It's just really good physical running, carrying people. All right, so we're going to spend a lot of time on this because, man, this is actually one of the more fascinating plays from this game. Okay, so we're running my favorite play in all of football. It's a play called Haas Juke, and we've done a lot of breakdowns of Haas Juke, okay? What I'll do is I'll actually link the definitive breakdown of this play from a guy named Matty Brown with Underdog Fantasy. I'm also with Underdog Fantasy. Sign up, playoff stuff, promo code Carter. There's pretty fun over-under playoff stuff that you could take advantage of. Once again, that's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Carter. And what Haas Juke is a comeback route here, go route from both of our slot receivers, and the juke route is actually an option route over the middle. Okay, so you're seeing a play, the play design here, and what's interesting on Haas Juke is the receiver actually has an option. Okay, so what you're taught to as a player or as a quarterback is to look right. Jayden is never throwing this to the right and work back left. So this isn't a processing Jayden working right, working back left. That is what he is taught to do on this play, to draw the coverage to the right and open up the space over the middle to the middle of the field. Okay? Now, MALIK, not the best sell job to the outside, but look at all this space over the middle. The backer has such great inside leverage that I do think Jayden could have waited just a little bit longer to allow MALIK to clear out over the middle, because eventually he's going to separate. But, the pocket was good enough for him to wait just a second longer to allow MALIK to go right here to the inside. It's still a nice gain, but, there's a few things about this. If this player has such great inside leverage, maybe you should work this way, right? It is an option route. MALIK could go here, but he could be coached automatically on Haas Juke that it's an automatic juke to the inside. I think that is the case, because when we've run it with Jack Besh, Besh is normally the juke on the Haas Juke. Every time Besh cut to the inside. So you can actually cut to the outside on this play. Also, Jayden can sit and throw it all the way here to Noah Cain, right? But that rarely is going to be the throw to a running back playing receiver. That is a long cross-field throw, but he did have time to actually make it. Now, this gets into an even crazier philosophical debate on Haas Juke. Is the last option is actually the go routes, right? But ironically, the go route to BTJ actually does open itself up. So normally, you're not going to throw this go route. This go route, both of them are just designed to hold defenders in coverage and give more space to the juke route, because we like MALIK going up against a linebacker. But what's funny here is BTJ actually does get behind the safety. The safety loses his eyes here. He's focused so heavily on the quarterback that BTJ does clear out on the vertical, and boom, the safety is beaten, okay? Throw this ball to the deep center, and you can see right here that the corner sees that the safety is beaten, and the corner leaves his assignment for BTJ right here over the deep middle. Now, Jayden is never going to throw this unless you do actually see it open itself up, right? Matthew Stafford is really good at that, right? Rarely are you supposed to throw the actual vertical route unless it's open. If we hit BTJ and lead him this way, that's a tutty. Work all the way back to Noah Cain if you want to. So, Haas Juke, you normally should throw it to our best player going up against a linebacker, but allow that route to clear itself out if it's an automatic inside juke release, especially if you have time. And also, if it's a rush 3, drop 8, maybe, just maybe, check to see if that vertical does open itself up. But here's the beauty. A Jayden Daniels-led offense is always an explosive play potential offense on zone read play. So on the very next play, God, this is such a good pull read right here by Jayden. It's hard. It's hard to make the correct pull read on the zone read. This time it was easy, okay? It's 3rd and short. It is clear that this end is crashing down. This is as easy as it's going to get. give Jack Mashburn and Will Campbell a lot of credit just crashing this end down right here. This backer should have probably scraped over a little bit better, especially if this end is crashing down the entire way. And Orlovsky is drawing it up. Jayden's job is to read this end. He's playing the running back the whole way. Just horrible safety play right here to just run yourself out of the play. And, of course, Jayden is going to beat anybody in a foot race. And this is where he's the absolute best, just kicking those legs up to where he doesn't get shoe strung. I don't know how he makes the guy miss every time when he does that. And this is why Jayden is an all-time great runner of the football as a quarterback. Man, it is truly, truly special stuff. That was the maximum amount of yards we could have gained right there, and Jayden gained all of it. It's just ridiculous how good he is as a runner. So, yes, he is not, a Stafford Burrow level processor, but he doesn't have to be, right? As long as he is healthy and he is there, he is always going to give you an explosive play potential as a runner, and this is just such excellent quarterback play to zone read that to perfection. And I love this by Jayden. Don't even play around with this. Don't even pull it. They're tired. They just have to run you down. Just get as downhill as we can and just hand this ball off the whole way. Excellent blocking. God, that's just nasty stuff right there by Anthony Bradford. I'm going to miss him. Look at this kick out block. Bang! Okay, now we need Emory Jones to come in and clean this up. This could have been cleaner. Okay, so it's not on Emory. This double from Will and Deli wasn't the best. Okay, we need Will to keep washing this guy down. He gets in Emory Jones' way, but Noah Cain is a good back. He's still able to squeeze through there, and we score basically untouched right there. So well done. Not the absolute cleanest, but we'll take it, baby, all day. Let's go. Bam! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So, as many of you know, our film studies do sometimes get demonetized. Drop a Venmo, Cash App, or you can get yourself some PHL merch. And you spend $100 in the merch store right now. I'm hooking you up with an autograph Lance Hurd photograph, baby. Once again, go to powerhourlsu.com/shop, baby. Now, some final thoughts. And what I want to do is actually show you a few opening graphics. I want to shout out, all the cheerleaders, coaching staff, people that really help, LSU football. There's so many people involved in the entire operation. And it's amazing how much the quarterback actually does move the needle for this entire operation. The one thing that really stands out to me about Jayden Daniels is, well, he's a professional, right? He handles everything with a ton of class. He plays really hard. That one really bad game versus Arkansas, I don't think he wanted it to be out that he had the flu for that game, and he didn't want any excuses for his abysmal play. I like Jayden. I've shared it 1,000 times. I love his grittiness, and he is the kind of guy that you want in your corner. And this game versus Purdue was obviously a step in the right direction. Now, why am I showing you this opening kickoff? Remember a little bit earlier, I told you I was going to show you a little extra something for Quincy Wiggins. So I want you to watch him sacrifice his body for the team right here. Bang! He gets blown up right here. These wedges and blocks over the middle can be brutal. I love that right there, okay? And notice him taking that hit opened this hole up right here. If we had better blocks on this side, this would have been a bigger gain for Noah Cain. So that's pretty good stuff right there for that guy to put his body on the line for the team. A little extra bonus for you. I like Jayden Daniels a lot, right? What he could give you in the running game is truly special. And the reason why I wanted to go back to the beginning is ESPN did a really good job with these graphics showing Jayden Daniels' total QBR stock report. And remember, QBR is a stat that I love. It's on a scale of 0 to 100. And as you'll see here, this is a roller coaster of a year from Jayden, right? Starting off with the great Florida State performance. And everything in between was just crazy, right? This was his third Power 5 game with a QBR north of 90. Well, actually his second Power 5 game with a QBR north of 90. His first since Florida, and 90 is incredible. And he does have a lot of QBRs over 80, including in that legendary Alabama game. So Jayden this year, for the most part, was a very good but also very flawed quarterback as a vertical passer, okay? Now, I did point out a few times where vertically he could have actually, delivered the football, but for the most part, this was, once again, a step in the right direction. Now, there are a lot of questions about how LSU is going to, I just need some water. It's hard being me. I'm just kidding. But there's going to be a lot of questions about, what is Jayden going to be like next year? And the number one thing I get is, well, this is his ceiling, right? Leading us to the SEC championship game and winning the SEC West. Well, if that's the case, then still sign me up, right? It's kind of hard to say who and what his ceiling actually is, right? But at the same time, Jayden skeptics always point this out to me, and it's a very valid, point. 43 career starts is an obscenely high number. And when his career is over by the end of next season, he will be one of the most seasoned college quarterbacks of all time in terms of just starts, right? Once again, Garrett Nussmeier has yet to start a game. So a lot of these, we saw it some in this game, a lot of these throws that were off the mark. You would like that to have been a little bit cleaner up to this point, and it did cost LSU in some big spots. And at the same time, this was the first time we blew out a Power 5 team this year. I made that point a lot in live streams after the game, which obviously is really good for our confidence. But for the most part, our lack of a vertical passing game overall capped our yard per play numbers. So what we're actually going to do is we have all offseason to talk about other film studies, other throws that I've been cutting up. I've been, previewing this big Jayden deep dive that we're doing, and it's still coming, right? It's crazy how good yet also complex this quarterback actually is for LSU. But once again, he's a great leader, and hopefully the vertical aspect of LSU's offense gets even better, especially considering LSU has got more great receivers coming in this next recruiting crop. So comment down below, how would you grade this Jayden Daniels performance versus Purdue? Now, coming up, we're going to get a Garrett Nussmeier film study in, and I hope you guys enjoy that in a major way. It is Power Hour LSU. Bam! And tonight, it's going down, baby. Some lemon pepper chicken wings. Let's get so, baby! Ha, ha, ha.